Hello everyone, I'm Aiden Rodriguez.
And I'm Hector Shredders Maximus Marcus, and welcome to the Weekly Metal Dose, where everything metal related is discussed.
Everything. This week, everything was about NAMM, the music showcase where everyone went to show their new stuff, to talk about what's coming up, and to give players the chance to show off their skills in front of everyone who's somebody in the music business.
Speaking of which, something that I consider to be just infamous happened this week. Mr. Chris Broderick, the demigod guitar player from Megadeth, decided to switch sides from Ibanez Guitars to Jackson Guitars. Now, I'm a die-hard, hardcore Ibanez fan. I completely love their guitars, and I consider it to be a heinous act to switch from them. It's just me, I don't know why. I mean, you got guitar players like Joe Satriani, like Steve Vai, the guys from Dragon Force, Mr. Omar from the Mars Volta, having custom guitars at Ibanez. And Chris Broderick all of a sudden just decides to shun them, throw aside his custom 7-string Ibanez guitar, and go over to the Jackson side. You know, that's just weird. But apparently, we're going to start seeing him playing. Right? Yeah, apparently he is
much better than everyone.
So we're going to start seeing him playing Jackson guitar from now on. Speaking of heinous acts, we also got the pillar of brightness, the pillar of wisdom that is Mr. Chester Bennington.
From Linkin Park.
From Linkin Park. He made comments about the shooting that happened in Arizona earlier. And you know what? I don't even want to spoil it to you guys. Just go and watch him. Just go and read him, because pretty much he took about, I want to say like 2 or 3 paragraphs, something like that. Yeah. He took about 2 or 3 paragraphs just to say, people are good, but there are some bad guys out there. So just go ahead and read it. I think you're gonna just crack a laugh at it. Also, and this is pretty cool actually. I'm pretty excited. Belphegor, you know, the
Austrian black metal band.
I'm not really that big into them, but my friend here is, and I think he's gonna buy the set. By the way, they released a brand new S&M set with their new album, and we're not just talking about a little mask or a little chain. No, this one actually has a leather choker with the chain. So for all you S&M fans out there that at the same time you're die-hard black metal fans, you now have something to spend your well-earned cash on.
And it's limited to 500 copies only, so go there.
You better get on it.
This week, hard rock supergroup Black Country Community announced that this June we're gonna have their new album out. And I personally love the first one, so I'm hoping that the new one is going to be even better, because, I mean, they have that much talent, and I hope they don't do nothing wrong, because, really, can they do wrong?
Now, since we're talking about supergroups, Mr. Mike Portnoy has already released a statement saying that him and Steve Morse and all the other guys from his new band are already working on material, already making progress. Hell, he even has a Beatles cover band, and apparently they're going to be doing one show. And I don't remember if it's the eastern or the western coast, but the East Coast, they're going to be doing one show on it with just Beatle covers. And I think it's hilarious, because if you look at him, Mike Portnoy actually goes all the way. He's dressed up, say, 60s style, 50s, 60s style, so it's going to be a hoot to watch. And also, keep an eye out for this new band, because it promises to be really something.
And speaking of Portnoy, ever since he left Dream Theater, everybody's talking about who's going to be the new drummer. Who's going to replace the guy behind the kid? Who's going to be bashing at those kids? And you know, every week we get a new name. We get rumors going, who's going to be this, if it's going to be, you know, whatever. But this week, the rumor was that Marco Miniman was going from Creator and Desecrator, no, Necrophagus, was going to be there and taking the kid. And you know what? The latest rumor is that he's not going to be there. So now the question goes back, who's going to be the new drummer of Dream Theater? A lot of names are being thrown around, but we still don't know who's going to do it. And the question hangs in the air. Is Portnoy going to go back? Are they going to take him back? I think he's not going to go back anytime soon.
Also, Disturbed's frontman, Mr. David Draiman, who I personally consider to be a pretty cool guy. You know, I think he's pretty chill. I think that he's a person that sticks to his guns, so to speak. But, having said that, he has continued with his constant barrage of just pro-Semitic comments. I actually saw somewhere in the internet people referring to him as just the super Jew, so to speak, because of just the way that he's expressing himself about his religion. So I think it's pretty important to have some sort of belief system, something. But I don't think it's cool to just go over the internet, abusing your fame and just bashing people with it. I think that's just bad taste.
And if you're like me, you're gonna be very excited probably because Nightwish has just released some studio footage of them recording their new album, and well, I don't know about you, but Dark Passion Play was very good, but I'm still hoping that they can do something better with this album. So let's go see that footage, guys, because damn, I can't wait for them to do the new thing, you know? Annette, Thomas, everyone there, I can't wait to see what you're doing.
Now, earlier we were talking about NAMM and about all the new stuff that was released at NAMM. And Mr. Eddie Van Halen, that everybody knows him as the virtuoso guitar player, or ex-guitar player from Van Halen. Actually, they got together. They got back together, right? Yeah, they did. The guitar virtuoso from Van Halen just released a new set of custom guitars. Just following on his set of the Wolfgang guitars, they're pretty much the same design, same basic electronics, except one of them, the Stealth they call it, has actually an ebony fretboard, which is just something that's a first for Van Halen, for Mr. Edward Van Halen. He has never played with an ebony fretboard, and apparently he loves it, because they're saying that it's his new personal favorite guitar. Another one that it's something that I consider just to be plain stupid. They kept a Tune-O-Matic bridge without a locking nut, but added the fine-tuning keys at the bridge. I consider that to be quite stupid, but according to the guitar makers, they're actually going to be making the newer version of the guitar later on in the year, in which it's actually going to have a locking nut. Now that is something that's actually going to come in handy for the fine-tuning keys. But so far, well, I don't know what to expect from these guitars. I consider them to be pretty much the same thing as every other Wolfgang guitar.
And finally, Danzig announced this week, actually today, that they're gonna release a single and video for their song Juju Bone from their album Death Red Sabbath. I think the album was very good. I mean, Danzig has been changing styles around a little, but now he's going back to his roots, and I think the video can be something very good because Danzig knows how to do weird videos that they're dark and maybe not scary, but in that atmosphere that he likes. That's, oh, let's see what we can do without telling you what the real darkness is. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Juju Bone. Stay tuned for that.
Okay, and now we get to the really good stuff, the CD reviews. Okay, to start off, we have Ishan's latest album, After. Aiden, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I wasn't really a fan of Ishan in Emperor or Emperor's work as a whole, but Ishan really surprised me with his work. What I did notice is that the new album is a bit more how do you call it, like higher. The notes are higher in it.
More treble in it.
More what?
More treble?
More treble in it. Yeah, more treble in it. But it's still a good album. I think some of the songs seem like a bit longer than the previous albums, and there's not so much screaming, so much aggressiveness as it was in the first ones. But I mean, God, the thing that you have to see after, it's not that you can see it as one album. You have to see it in light of the other two albums. You have to consider what's going on. You have to really appreciate what he's trying to do. Like when you see the reports he did from the studio, when he went to say that he was doing like opening a lot of layers in his vocals. You know, there's no those King Diamond style vocal that he used in the first album or the second album. But still, it's a really good album, and you have to appreciate a lot of Munkevi's sax playing, which gives a very different vibe from a metal album, specifically a black metal album, which I think it gives a lot of dimension in it. And I mean, I gotta recommend it. It's a really good album. I loved it, and I think it fits really well with the other two albums.
I think that's actually the key aspect of the album. You have to consider it within the context of the other two albums, because I mean, Ishan himself said it is the adversary is the problem he has, Angle, say the resolution, and then the aftermath. You know, so it has to progress. You can't just go back to the same stuff. And I think that's why he's getting a lot of slack from people, because people just want to hear the old stuff. They just want to hear the real heavy stuff.
They want a new Emperor.
Exactly, and you can't deliver that. You can't deliver anymore. I mean, yes, and the Emperor is dead, so to speak. And I think the album is just amazing. I love the way he experimented with the 8-string guitar. I think it completely added a whole new dimension of sound to it.